and still the undefeated light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey Kovalev. Still undefeated, Andre S.O.G.
The biggest fight that could be made in the division would eventually be you and Andre Ward.
I'm ready for any fighter, and if fans want to see this fight, I'll be happy.
If that fight is made in the not-too-distant future, probably the best matchup in boxing, what are your thoughts about fighting Sergey Kovalev?
You know me, it's never a problem. You know, you look at my track record, I want to fight the best, I've always fought the best. It's not a matter of if, I just think it's when.
Good afternoon. The two men who are here with us today have chosen to put their O's on the line and face each other to find out just which one of them is the very best. I am pleased to officially announce Sergey "Crusher" Kovalev will risk all three of his world titles against two-time world super middleweight champion Andre S.O.G. Ward.
Ward Kovalev is the best fight that can be made in boxing. Not one of the best, but this is the top matchup.
The winner of Kovalev-Ward is going to be seen as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport.
Kovalev is destroying everyone in his path.
Ward's left hook is one of the most devastating weapons in the sport of boxing.
It's the big puncher in Sergey Kovalev against the boxer and the technician in Andre Ward.
This is like watching two chess grandmasters fighting each other.
People want to see the best fight the best, and that's what boxing has always been about.
They will be fighting for something they have spent their entire life pursuing, the title of world's best boxer.
There's two legacies on the line. There's two undefeated records on the line. Sergey's whole trophy case is on the line.
Fight of my life. I have a big chance and big opportunity to knock him out.
A friend of mine came from Russia, and he goes like, I guess, I just saw a very good guy in Moscow at the tournament. I want you to talk to him. I called next day, and there was Sergey on the phone, and we started talking, and I said, Sergey, why don't you fly over to Kazakhstan? We can meet in person. And then we went to one of the gyms. Sergey went in and did shadow boxing and moved around. And Don Turner, the one who noticed really well, Don Turner is my tutor, so he's my brain in boxing. He goes like, Agus, you gotta get this guy.
One day I get a phone call from Agus. He said, John, I have a fighter for you. A few days later, Sergey arrives. He speaks very little English, and I speak no Russian. So the lines of communication, they're not really that good. I said, come to the gym tomorrow, we work out. Come the next day, disastrous. You know, Sergey is his own guy. He likes to do things his way. Well, I'm a teacher. I'm gonna do things my way. You're in my gym now. So we clashed.
He tried to fix me. I agree with him, but we didn't understand each other. It was funny.
That first day I walked away, I said, man, I don't want to train this guy. I told my assistant, I said, listen, after this fight, it's over. And I tried. He's just a little bit too difficult.
We got a call from Agus Klimas, his manager, and he told us about this fella from Russia and how he had invested so much in him, how he knew he would be champion of the world, and he said, just give him one fight. Pick the opponent, put him on your card. If you don't like him when it's over, we won't bother you again. So we did it, and we put him on a card with Darnell Boone.
That's okay, no problem. I looked at Boone, I said, you should destroy this guy.
And then he proceeded to drill Darnell Boone in 2 rounds. At that point, I said, let's sign this guy before somebody else does.
Everything that I asked him to do, he did it to perfection. So I'm walking back with my assistant, Derek Santos, and I said, you know what? Remember all that trash I was talking these past few weeks? I said, cancel all that. This guy can fight. He's gonna be champion of the world.
I think for most people, where he really began to explode into public consciousness is when he fought Nathan Cleverly. And suddenly there was this guy who was this destroyer, who was really getting a lot of attention, who was a dangerous guy.
Cleverly on the canvas for the second time. These are the first 2 knockdowns of his professional career.
His career was developing. He had the impressive string of knockouts. You're wondering, when is the big fight going to arrive?
And all of a sudden, after a 2014 that began to look as if it was going to be difficult for him, along came the biggest fight he could possibly hope for.
The message that I tried to get across to Sergey for the Bernard Hopkins fight was, you're the better fighter, you're the younger, stronger fighter. You're fighting an older fighter. Make him feel old during the fight.
No one has ever knocked out Bernard Hopkins.
I knew that I can punch him right hand when he comes to me. And I counted these like couple steps and I catch him.
Down goes Hopkins on the first solid right hand that Kovalev threw.
What impressed me about that night was that when he did it, he didn't go in there and try to finish him at that moment. He stuck with his plan. It was going to be to outbox the boxer.
Everybody expected that Bernard would try to stretch him out over the rounds, take him into the deep water beyond the 8th round, and expose Kovalev as somebody who didn't have the boxing sophistication to stay with him.
Here comes round 8. Sergey Kovalev has never been beyond round 8 in a professional fight.
Flying the ointment turned out to be Kovalev did have the boxing sophistication to stay with Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard is getting hit flush with hard shots much more frequently than I personally have ever seen before.
Bernard Hopkins got knocked down early in the first round. He got up and he went 12 rounds, you know? And he gave Sergey Kovalev all kinds of problems.
Well, he caught a right hand there and he's clowning.
When he showed me like that, you know, like it was like, oh, why you did it? Like, come on.
Kovalev wants to knock him out. Kovalev wants to put an exclamation point on it.
He got the power, and he can box, and he got speed, and he rangy, and he uses height.
Kovalev hammering Bernard Hopkins from pillar to post. As we get to the final bell.
Who knocked Bernard out in his career? Nobody. Who came close? Well, maybe he did.
Sergey won every single round. All the 3 judges gave to Sergey every single round.
All 3 judges scored it unanimously. From Russia with love, Sergey Kovalev.
This fight was tough just mentally because my wife was pregnant and delivery day was in LA and my camp was in Florida. And I saw my son only after 2 weeks after the fight.
I think by not just beating Bernard Hopkins, but dominating Bernard Hopkins, Sergey Kovalev really elevated himself.
He's still searching, he's still climbing, he's still trying to achieve things. You have your child now, you have a beautiful family. You want to provide for them all things you didn't get as a kid. I think that keeps him motivated and staying hungry.
When I saw his first time, personally, it was the greatest moment in my life. Box, да?
Kovalev is the crusher. I mean, that nickname tells you everything you need to know.
Sergey's punching power is just in another universe.
Down goes Agnew on a Kovalev left hook. He has extraordinary power.
He has knocked people down and out with a jab.
Great body shot.
That is the kind of power Kovalev has always displayed.
That's otherworldly power.
He just want to get you in range. And once he gets you in range, you're going to get crushed.
Kovalev is the Mike Tyson type puncher. He can get you out with one shot. Vicious right-hand banger. He can just knock you into the second row. He really is a force to be reckoned with.
Big right hand. Pascal's over the rope. First time Pascal has ever been knocked down as a pro.
Everyone that's fought Sergey said the same thing. They said, man, I didn't realize he could punch the way he punches.
Kovalev's superior technique and punching power have rendered most of his opponents unconscious.
Once he hits you, your whole mindset is different because now you say, man, this guy can punch. Now you're in a survival mode type fight.
If he sees he hurt just a little bit opponent, that's it, he's not gonna let it go. He's gonna be all over him.
And that takes care of that.
Sergey is as good at cutting the ring off as anybody I've seen in a very long time. He doesn't chase. He corners opponents like they're his prey.
Cut that ring off and make him fight you.
Sergey is very smart. Yes, he goes for the knockout, but now he learned how to break his opponent down. And once he does that, the outcome is usually the way he wants it, a good, clean knockout or a good stoppage.
If Ward's gonna win, that has to be a decision. I don't think he can knock out Sergey. I've seen Sergey taking some punches.
Kovalev is hurt.
I don't think Ward can deliver that.
Tremendous right hand shot by Pascal. We're getting to see what kind of a chin Kovalev has.
His chin has been tested, and he's proven to be a very strong chin.
For the last 2 or 3 years, there was a growing sense that Sergey Kovalev was unbeatable, that Sergey Kovalev was an overwhelmingly dominant force who would be impossible for almost anyone in the light heavyweight division to beat. Then Kovalev went into the ring in his home area in Russia and looked like less than what he's been against Isaac Chilemba.
The feeling was that what Sergey needed was not a soft touch. It was somebody who was going to box, someone who could present a challenge, someone who could prepare him for the fight with Ward.
I don't know if Isaac Chilemba just rose to the occasion or what, but Isaac Chilemba did a nice job.
He went to the distance, he got the rounds out of it. Chilemba was not very easy to hit. Basically, for Sergey, it worked.
Chilemba's style was uncomfortable for me. I felt good and I was ready for this fight. But if somebody didn't like my fight, excuse me.
I don't know if I ever had a moment or a revelation that I loved boxing, but I had to have loved it to endure what I've endured, you know, as a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old. I was a young professional. I gave up a childhood to do this. It's a lot of things I didn't get a chance to do growing up because I was in the gym.
He's been with me since he's been 9 years old. He's my godson, so yes, goes much deeper. Definitely a father to him, and him a son to me.
Okay, I'm talking to you, son. I'm talking to you.
He's been boxing for his entire life. Hasn't lost a fight, you know, since he was 13 years old.
He hasn't lost a boxing match since he was 13 years old.
13 years old.
It's around there, yeah. I gotta double check.
12. I don't know why they keep saying 13, but that's okay.
It's been a while, for sure.
The more you know Andre, the more you talk to him, the more I think you have to be impressed with how utterly self-determined he is.
We were about 18, and he said, honey, I'm gonna go to the Olympics. I'm gonna win a gold medal. I'm gonna be a professional athlete and have this great career and win these belts. And I'm thinking, what? You know, are you serious? Like, okay, well, it was something in his eyes that just made me believe every word that he said. And here we are.
2 years prior to 2004 Olympics, Virgil said, if you help me with this kid, you know, he would win us a gold medal. We took Dre to the Roy Jones camp, and he beat up all Roy Jones' sparring partners. So I was impressed even more. And from there, they done just like they said they would do, you know, won a gold medal.
At super middleweight, he was in that Super 6 tournament, and he fought the toughest guys in the world, and he beat them all.
There's no cherry picking. When you're in an international tournament, including the Olympics, whoever is standing in the other winner's bracket is who you have to fight.
Obviously, he's had lots of great fights on his way to winning the Super 6. You know, he fought against some significant opponents.
Ward dominated everyone he faced, including fighters with big reputations like Arthur Abraham and Mikkel Kessler.
I just love his victory over either Carl Froch or Mikkel Kessler, either one. Both sensational fights. Andre Ward showed what he's made of in those two fights. Mikkel Kessler at 168 was definitely good enough to beat anybody. Kessler was just an absolutely great fighter. He could move, he could box, he could punch, yet Andre Ward beat him up.
Kessler's a top fighter, and Ward just dominated him.
I think if you wanted to find one fight that most impressively demonstrates what Andre Ward can do, it would be the fight against Carl Froch at the end of the Super 6 168-pound tournament. Andre completely dominated him and demonstrated round after round that though other fighters had tremendous problems with Froch's physicality and unusual sort of freelance style, Ward had no problem.
Keep fighting as you work your way in. Just don't walk in, okay?
Froch is a very, very hard puncher, and Andre Ward beat him up.
Was able to land when he wanted to and was able to make Froch miss when he wanted to. So on that night, I think you saw how utterly superior, even against top competition, Andre Ward can be.
The Super 6 tournament was essentially an amateur-style tournament to determine the best professional fighter in the weight class. You couldn't duck anyone. Whoever's standing there, you had to fight that guy. And Andre Ward beat all those guys.
I'm thankful for my wife. I don't know where I would be without her continued support and help.
Andre typically leaves about 7 weeks before a fight to go into training camp, and I cry every time he leaves.
When I fight 2-3 times a year, I mean, I'm gone half the year. I'm literally in a training camp communicating over a cell phone.
It's tough, but we know that there's a great reward for the work that he's doing.
We have 4 kids now. My young son, who's 4 now, we call him Champ. His middle name is Champ. He's fighting like me all day, wants to box. He's putting his heavy bag onto the door handle, and he's hitting the door handle, telling me, Dad, this is what you need to do in your next fight. Show him how you box. Show him how you fight. Tell him your name ain't Champ for nothing, huh?
He loves going down to the gym, punching his little bag, and he's just having a blast.
I can see it in his eyes, and I think he's gonna be the one that gives me the trouble from the standpoint of like wanting to do it, and I'm gonna have some tough decisions to make, because if I see, you know, exceptional talent and a tremendous work ethic, we may have to give him a shot and see what happens.
Well, he was undefeated as an amateur. Coming into the pros, he's undefeated again. And, you know, he's just a great fighter. He possibly the #1 fighter in the world today.
Andre Ward has all the ingredients to give anyone trouble.
Andre can fight in a variety of styles. He does whatever it takes to get the job done.
His game plan changes for each and every fighter he faces, and it always works. He's something special.
If circumstances dictate that he has to get inside a big puncher's power and move him back, he'll do it.
Uppercuts by Ward now. Jolting Dawson. Masterful inside stuff from Andre Ward.
He is willing to walk the walk in the ring.
Even the fights that people say, oh, it was easy. I'm like, man, it didn't feel easy. The next day, the day after that, I feel every blow I got hit with. The key is to try to keep the punishment as minimal as possible. And that doesn't mean you're a reluctant warrior. It just means that if you hit me, you're gonna earn it.
Ward is about as skilled as a boxer can be. He's not just a great defender and counterpuncher, but he can also be a great attacker.
Ward landing when he wants to, where he wants to.
Andre's got some dog in him. You hit him, and he's looking to hit you back, and looking to hit you back hard.
Another left hook lands for Ward. So quick with his counters.
Andre Ward's got the fastest hands I've ever seen in my life. He's very quick. He's cat quick.
3-punch combination, left, right, left.
I think that might have been 4 then, Jim.
Andre Ward is not only a counterpuncher, he also is a good boxer.
Ward's left hook has been the money punch ever since he was 12 years old. Ward just rocked Dawson again with another left hook. Quick left hook inside, huge left hook by Ward. And here comes Ward, setting up his left hook again.
A lot of talented fighters out there, but the mental toughness is the unique part, and I think that's what separates him from his competition.
One thing about Andre Ward, he's as smart a fighter as there is alive. He doesn't miss a trick.
No other fighter in boxing is better at looking at what you do and constructing a way of doing what he wants to do, which will absolutely destroy that thing that you do. And he can do it with different opponents and different styles in different fights. And that, I think, is what Kovalev's people have to fear.
Kovalev's never seen a guy that'll come in, get in his face, and bang him around before Kovalev can throw that big right hand. I think Andre's chomping at the bit. Andre's probably saying to himself, Sergey Kovalev has never seen anything like me. And that's the truth.
I've been in the amateurs for 10 years. I've been a pro for over 10 years, and I faced a lot of fighters. I've looked in a lot of men's eyes throughout the years. I'm not in this position just by happenstance.
top fighters putting it all on the line.
Dawson's knee goes to the canvas, and it's another knockdown for Ward.
He absolutely destroyed that opponent.
He's got a chance to put on a show in his biggest fight, and he wants to do it.
Andre was at his very best against Chad.
And Dawson's legs are gone, and there's the third knockdown of the fight. He's done. And there's the smile of victory for Andre Ward. Ward has mixed his attack upstairs, downstairs. He's throwing it all.
His style can change from one fight to another.
Andre Ward is so quick on the trigger. So it is, in fact, a unanimous decision victory for Ward. I think he's the best in boxing at tailoring his style to what the opponent can do. And there's a solid left hand to the jaw of Brand. Ward continues to show his precise boxing style and his general command of the ring against Alexander Brand. Andre Ward goes the distance, wins every round, probably wins every minute of every round.
I'm a young veteran. I've paid my dues, and obviously I have to continue to until I hang them up, but I'm not interested in just taking fights to take fights. I don't have anything to prove. It's about taking the right fights at the right time.
A lot of people think that the best kind of fights are two unstoppable forces head-to-head, and you get an explosion. I think the best kind of fights are two fighters at their peak, both of whom you could say the following: hard to imagine that guy losing. If they would have fought in different eras, people would say, who would win, Kovalev or Andre Ward? Wow, that's a tough one. I don't know. Well, they fought in different eras, we'll never know. No, they're fighting in the same era. There will be an answer.
Two fighters that are absolutely in their prime. Two fighters that are in the top 5 pound-for-pound rankings in the world. Two fighters that are 30-0. We don't often see matchups like this in the sport. So I think that's obviously fueling the anticipation.
There have been fights throughout boxing history. Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya, the first one. It was a high-speed chess match between two top pound-for-pound fighters in their primes, and it produced excellent action.
This has been a war.
And this is that kind of fight.
It's tough for me to put myself in the same category as legends, but I feel like it's appropriate. To me, this is like Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard all over again. Obviously, him being Tommy Hearns and me being Sugar Ray.
It's Pernell Whitaker against Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., of course. It's Sugar Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran or Tommy Hearns. It's that kind of fight.
From Joe Louis all the way up to this point, Robinson, Leonard, you name them. It was very significant leading up to November 19th, so I'm aware of his place in that particular mix when the great ones fight the great ones.
Good. When you're undefeated, when you've never taken that O, when you're at the very top of the game, losing is the penalty. You're doing this for the legacy. Neither guy can afford to lose this fight.
What comes with the victory is life and career changing. That would make me a 5-time world champion in one night. That means something to me. That would continue to solidify my claim as a Hall of Famer. That means the world to me.
They're gonna be showing to the world who is a pound-for-pound #1 boxer.
The moment the winner is declared from Ward Kovalev, that name will be atop most pound-for-pound lists in boxing, including mine.
The winner of this fight, at least for the moment that he exits the ring that night, is probably going to be seen as the #1 guy. I don't know how important that is to Kovalev, but I know it's tremendously important to Andre Ward.
That's the moment when you're atop that list. I've been as high as #2, so I got to do everything that's in my power to be atop that list. So it means everything to me.
He is definitely the best pound-for-pound guy out there right now because of who he's beaten.
First of all, Sergey wants to be #1 pound-for-pound. Second of all, he's not giving his titles away. Just like you try to take a kid from a lion. You think you can get it? No. Same thing, you're trying to take belts from Sergey. That's his kid. You're not gonna touch it.
You're seeing why no one wants to get in the ring with Kovalev.
In a sense, it portrays the ultimate classic style matchup. The consummate boxer/counterpuncher, Andre Ward, against the consummate
puncher-destroyer in Sergey Kovalev, and one of those two styles is going to prevail.
A big puncher like Kovalev against a real good technician like Andre Ward makes this fight really, really fascinating.
You've got two fighters that have totally different styles. They approach the sport differently. I think it's going to boil down to who's best prepared, who's had the best training camp.
I see this fight as being a fight that, you know, the last 2-3 rounds might be the fight. It's going to be really a drag-out, knockdown type of fight.
When you read the opinions of the fight, it's 50-50. That constitutes a super fight, in my opinion.
We're both undefeated, both are best boxers in light heavyweight division now. And this fight for best pound for pound. Everything even, you know, and it should be 50-50.
Not only will the boxing world be split 50-50 in terms of who's gonna win, those who believe Andre's gonna win, they're not gonna be so certain about it. Those who believe Kovalev is gonna win, they're not gonna be sure about it.
No one seems to be able to settle on it enough to give one a decided edge, so to speak. I think that's what makes the fight interesting.
I'm just gonna be another fan and watch it. I can't do anything about it at that moment. My job is done. But I wanna see who wins. I wanna see how he does it.
This is the fight that is the door to superstardom.
You have two guys who have never lost, whose legacies, whose careers, whose everything is on the line.
Forget the fight of the year. I think this may be the best fight of the last decade.
A light heavyweight showdown for the ages.
This is a legacy builder.
This is the super fight.
It's gonna be a very tough and incredible battle. We're gonna show amazing fight.
I've been training for moments like this my whole life. Any man can be broken. Champions find a way.
What a thrill for boxing fans.
These guys are the cream of the crop, the elite of the sport. Do you think he's ready?
Yeah, I see he's ready, and I'm ready too.
I'll see you in November.